Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews, joined by the ever-present Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed. I think he's lost.
Oh, I thought I heard a blinker.
So, he's got hearing problems. But we're going to talk a little bit of wrestling and talk about how to repair rings on the fly. So,
That ain't what they do.
or at least that's what we hope that happened. So,
I don't know if it is or not.
sit back and enjoy the ride. So, go ahead and tell us about the picture. Like, what the picture you saw, where you saw it at, whatever. Any details you know about the picture.
The midget wrestler Bulldog is the first place I saw it, and it was 3 ratchet straps, correct?
Yeah.
Holding up
Instead of the
the
turnbuckles.
ropes. Yeah. Instead of having the bars that go to the turnbuckles, they had ratchet straps. And I don't know who did this, and I'm praying maybe they just left their steel.
Yeah,
at the
that's what
house.
I was hoping was maybe it was
But
something happened and we had to make do,
I
but I
know.
don't know if that's really the case.
no.
But if it works, you know, I mean, I've seen worse, I guess.
The closest scenario I can think of with that has happened to us was when the guy stood up on the middle rope and it broke. So we wound up having a 2-rope ring.
Yep.
And but we still had wrestling equipment.
Now we did that once before.
What?
Yeah, what had happened was during the transportation of the ring, one of the screws came unscrewed, one of the turnbuckle. So we essentially had half a turnbuckle. So we ran around trying to find something to fix it, but we couldn't fix it. So we fixed it with a ratchet strap.
Really?
We put it on the bottom rope because the bottom, it's used but it's not used.
No, not
you know what I
really.
mean? So
Bottom rope's more or less show,
but
in my opinion.
when once we hit the event was over, obviously we got a new turnbuckle once we were able to order one, but it definitely makes you think on your feet. So that's the reason I was like, well, maybe it was a repair, but
I just had
what has to happen for all 3 to be missing? You know what I mean? So I think maybe that was their fix to it. It was like, hey, instead of buying turnbuckles, we use ratchet straps. I mean,
They bought a really bad ring with some parts missing.
yeah, could have been. So it's definitely different, but I mean, those things are made to hold weights. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't work.
No, we put together one in Louisiana made out of railroad track.
We did do
And
that.
that damn thing weighed a ton.
It was heavy.
Yeah, it
and
broke a 2-wheeler.
stiff.
Yeah, it was stiff.
But
We trained on it,
yeah,
damn thing.
absolutely.
I wonder why I have a sore back now.
Yeah. So
Wrestled in boxing rings, those are horrible.
Yep. No, I went and trained one time. Had a guy getting ready for a big match, and so we went to the local boxing gym. That's probably 15 minutes from my house or whatever, and rented their ring, thinking it was like the wooden ring. No, bruh, zero give. Zero.
I wrestled in one and I bumped twice.
Say one bump, and I was like, you know what? We'll just work on chain and stuff. Like
That's what we did.
yeah, we'll come up with some cool stuff.
I wrestled
So-
on the floor. It was softer.
Oh man, it was like, and literally what it was like miniature, like it was like a stage, and they just put it together, And I was like, man, this is no sir, this is not for me. But that was the last time we borrowed
I don't know
the
whose
boxing
it
ring.
was. All I know is I was with Brother Love, and I took that first bump and went, oh, we ain't doing that again. He's like, we only did a clothesline. I don't give a damn.
I don't care.
He said, what do we do? Chain. I said, we're going to end it with a small package or a roll up or something.
Somebody got to land.
Because I didn't even want to take a leg drop or nothing. It's hurt, bro. It literally felt like I was landing on concrete.
Wow, that's crazy.
It sucked. But
You ever seen any other modified rings?
no, like I said, the 2-rope ring one was the and like I said, I thought that was fine because really the bottom rope is only
Right.
it helps you climb to the top. That's about it.
I mean, it's definitely used in a way, but I mean, you can actually have a match with no rope. So I mean,
If you're a luchador, sure. But
Yeah.
I'm a fatador, so it didn't really mean.
well, I mean, you do
needed.
come off the top rope sometimes.
I fell off top rope. That shit don't count. Even technically, the times I jumped, I more or less just kind of leaned over and let gravity take hold.
I fell off the ropes.
You remember one time we was training, I said, well, I'm going to see if I can do the cane clothesline. And I stood up there shaking my damn ass off like a leaf on a tree in the fall time. I don't know, me and Heights don't get along. So, yeah.
But yet, you continue to go to the top rope.
No, I was just stupid that night.
he got caught up. All those guys out there showing out, and he wanted to show out too.
That was pretty much it. Turns out I'm too fat to fly.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's funny.
But plenty of fat to fall. So.
Yeah. Have you ever seen and I think you have, the Tim Donst documentary?
Wrestle, Dance, Wrestle, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's what
30
it's
minutes
called.
long.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? I was watching it earlier.
I
Or let
watched
me
it
rephrase
like-
it. I was listening to it earlier.
I've probably seen it 3 or 4
Yeah,
times.
it's
just 'cause
really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I saw it on the Fight Network. So, like, because with my second job, I do a lot of traveling. So, I'll throw headphones on or whatever and just listen to stuff. I don't necessarily watch it because I'm driving. I don't want to be like I killed nobody or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely listen to it because I don't listen to the radio a lot because can't learn anything from the radio.
That most of it's terrible.
Yeah, but I definitely dig that. It was really good, well done. And I hit Nick Mondo up last night. You know, he's got the trade coming out, which is out now on like Amazon or whatever.
Yeah,
you
I've
can
seen
order
it.
it and
That's
rent it.
good.
Yeah, have you seen it? But I asked him if there was any physical copies, and he said they should go to the distributor, and hopefully they're shooting for like a Halloween release date for the physical copies.
So that's why I hate like FYE and all them places are pretty much gone, because I remember that's where we used to get all our wrestling DVDs at.
And I mean, I'm just a stickler, man, for owning something physical.
You know his Unscarred, the one me and you watched I don't know how many damn times, but it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've watched it several times.
Nick Mondo, man, like I'm not a huge like hardcore wrestling
No,
fan.
but it was just a well put together documentary.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm definitely a fan of some guys that do hardcore wrestling. You know what I mean?
He could wrestle without having to do that crap.
Well, like he said, it was for the money. You know, like he got paid very well to do what he did.
Taking one chair, or no, it was a table, and there's about 6 of them stacked up, and he said only one of them broke.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what happens when you come off buildings.
Yeah, well, I'm not ever gonna do that.
Ask Joe Janela.
I ain't asking nobody, but you know, gravity sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. You watch anything?
Huh?
Have you watched anything?
Oh yeah. I've been watching the G1 like every day for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Have you made it to G2 yet?
I made it to the finale this morning. I have not watched the whole thing, but I watched the main event.
Okay.
And him and Ibushi.
Him who?
I'm trying to remember how you pronounce the guy's name. I know I'm gonna jack it up. Is it Tanahashi?
Yeah.
Okay. Him and Ibushi went all the way to the main.
Okay.
And they have just a great match, a great match. And anybody's got time to watch the G1, I mean, I'll basically come home and watch it. I ain't watched nothing for like the last 2 weeks but this.
Yeah, but you need to watch the whole thing to get the most out of it, or can you flip around?
Because it's a point system, which I'm not going to say I understand it all completely.
Right.
But I got it and I didn't. So I'm trying to still go back and figure it all out. But, I mean, it's really good wrestling.
I got you.
And I don't know. I've got to where I like Japanese wrestling way more than I do American because they take it serious.
Yeah.
And it's actually treated like a UFC fight or a boxing match. It isn't. There has to be a storyline. It's just like, hey, this guy's gonna fight this guy. You know why? Because we're paying them.
Yeah.
How about that? No stupid storyline needed.
No, pull my hair.
No, he ain't pull his hair. He ain't got hit.
Remember
with some
3 months
brass
ago
nuts.
you pulled my hair?
Threw him out in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. He put his mama on a forklift and had to get him off.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a legit fight, but it's wrestling.
That's not a bad idea.
And they do have, storylines somewhat too.
Right.
But I mean, like this tournament has been treated like a tournament.
Yeah. I'm fighting you not because I want what's at the end of the road.
Because I want the money.
Yeah. I dig that.
Or you want the title shot, which is what they win in the G1
Right.
is the title shot. And each match you get a set amount of points for certain kind of wins and losses.
Yeah.
So,
but
it's really
I
cool.
didn't realize it was point based.
Yeah,
I mean,
go look it up.
I've watched bits and pieces of them, but I've never watched like a whole G1. So I guess I never.
It's a bit confusing. Like I said, if you know everything, this is the first one I've ever watched all the way through.
Right.
So I'm trying to learn it.
Yeah.
I remember they did one at was it AWA? It was Vern Gagne's company. It's AWA, right? And but in the end, it ended with like a battle royal. and nobody was really sure at the end of the damn battle royal who the hell won.
Is that the Wrestle Rock Rumble or whatever?
Yeah, something.
Where they were singing in the advertisements.
Yeah, but it was, at the end, if you ever find the documentary and it's out there, they talk about this point system thing, and you can hear the guys at the end of the match trying to explain why this one person won,
Yeah.
and even they don't understand why he won.
I think a lot of times
confusing.
points can be confusing, especially if you don't have somebody to show you step by step and keep you up to date. Like,
But like, so there was one match that I watched, and I can't remember the wrestlers. I know Tanahashi was one of them. I can't remember who the other one was. But they went and they were tied, except by 1 point. So they go to actual draw, which gives you a set amount of points. Well, this guy would have went ahead forward if he won. This guy would have went ahead forward if he.
but because it was a tie.
He went ahead because he had 1 point.
Oh wow!
So it is.
So it's kind of like referee's
yeah.
decision, kind of almost. I mean, you have the
No,
points.
it's the points. It's the points.
Right. It's different.
So I think it could be done if you simplify it.
Yeah.
And I think it is a simplified version. I just haven't really.
You just
went
don't know
back
the
and-
rules.
Exactly.
Right.
Like I said, I've just now started going back because I've just been watching for the matches.
Mhm.
And now that I've figured out what's going on, I'm like, well, I want to actually go back and see what the hell this is all about.
Yeah. Kind of understand it more
Yeah.
how it works. That's kind of cool. Well, what's your thoughts on like tournaments and things? Like, are you a fan of tournaments?
I enjoy tournaments more than I do anything else, honestly. I hate storylines, especially if they can't be pulled off over and over and over.
Right.
Somebody gets hurt, there goes the storyline. You know, and then you try to put it with another person, it doesn't work because it has nothing to do with the storyline that was going on before. So you wind up sticking them in a bad tag team, it doesn't fucking work together. So that didn't work.
What was it like with about years ago? What did they do? Like was it supposed to be Shawn and his Knights versus Brett, the Hart family, and then got put to Jerry Lawler to the Knights, or was it Jerry
I
Lawler
don't
and then
remember,
Brett?
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it was either Brett or Shawn or Jerry, one of them.
Yeah.
I think Shawn replaced Jerry
I don't remember
because there was already that history of. Yeah, I think like Jerry Lawler, the King and his Knights. It had to be the King and his
I think
Knights.
Brett got legit
Again,
hurt.
Well, no, something happened with
Shawn?
Lawler.
Oh, okay.
And so Shawn took his place, and he had the Knights,
I
and
got
like
you.
it made no sense that why Shawn Michaels would have Knights, but it was one of those like something happened with Lawler, and they had to do what they had to do because they'd already advertised the match,
Well, speaking of Brett, now that Neidhart's dead,
Yep,
died at
The only one.
63.
only one
He
left.
is literally the only remaining version of the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
Of the original Hart
Right.
Foundation, I should say.
Well, I mean,
I really don't count the last version.
I'm just saying if you count Hart Foundation with just Jim and Brett, you'd have to count in.
Well, I'm talking about like
Mouth of the
when
South,
they
Jimmy
were
Hart.
all feuding with Austin.
Austin, right?
and
Yeah,
all
you're
that.
talking about Bulldog,
Yeah,
Owen, Brian,
They're basically the Four
Yeah.
Horsemen Foundation.
right?
You know.
Yeah, it definitely sucks. I know. Yeah, we just had all the deaths we had a couple weeks back, and then we got another death. So, 2018 is definitely claiming people in the wrestling world.
Yeah, they're dropping like flies.
Right, and
man.
we're what, halfway through the year, a little over half of the
A little
year.
Over half. We only got a couple months left.
So
They're catching up right here.
calm down, 2018, calm
No
down.
kidding.
But yeah, it's definitely sad. Like, I was always a fan of the Hart Foundation, and probably Anvil more than Brett.
Really?
Especially as
Wow.
a kid, just because he was more over the top. I'm talking about like just them two together. Like Brett was the worker, obviously he'd go in and do everything, but like I was always drawn to just those characters. And to me, Anvil was a character. He had the goatee.
What I
and,
remember him doing. To be
he had that
honest with
laugh. He had the laugh or whatever, and man, like that was really cool. Like I was really an Anvil fan, man, and I don't know why. Like I guess just because he was more character than Brett was.
The only move I remember him doing in the ring, honestly,
Shoulder
is
tackles.
He did an over-the-top rope shoulder tackle.
Yeah.
A slingshot shoulder tackle. I don't remember nothing else he did.
And he didn't do that with Brett, did he? Did that with Owen, right? As like
I
the
think he
new
did with
foundation.
both of
Did he?
them, actually. Yeah, it had to be with both of them because it was in one of the matches when they won the tag belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he
I liked him and Owen, honestly.
I did
better.
too. I mean, the gear maybe not, but definitely
No,
them
I
as a
didn't like
tag
the gear at
team.
all. That
Well,
was-
to me, like the gear fit like Owen and Coco.
Still,
what I
I
mean?
was gonna say it's better than that damn high energy mess.
Well, it was the same gear.
Was it?
Yes. Yes. It's the same gear.
God, I don't remember that.
Yeah, go back and watch.
Okay.
It was
I'll
the
have to
same
check it
gear.
out. But
So-
it probably still beat him being who? Who was pretty horrible. Exactly.
But that, I mean, in reality, what that lasted, that was one match.
Couple matches.
Was it a couple? But I mean, it was not like, hey, this is a long term. This is like
A payday.
But no, well, wasn't the story like Anvil had signed like a contract for like a indie promotion, and the contract said he couldn't appear on TV.
I don't know.
So like,
Give me the line.
you know, like yeah, there was some like I think he had to pay to get out of the contract so that he would go WWE.
Holy crap.
And if it's not the Who story, that's a story that's out there. Is that, you know, they brought him
Never heard
back,
that.
and he had signed with like a, you know, back then indie companies wasn't what they are now. You know what I mean? But he had signed with like a company that he wouldn't compete on TV, and
Wow.
yeah.
Did not know that.
and so he had to pay to get out of the contract himself because Vince was like, you know, we will hire you back, but you got to get out of this yourself. Or at least, you know, that's what you hear. I mean, I don't know if Vince said that or not,
Who the
but
hell no?
rumor and innuendo, as Bruce
Yeah.
Pritchard and Conrad Thompson says.
That's a bunch of stuff in my window.
Yeah, you know, so that was kind of a cool story. But man, like Anvil, like he was so intense, man. Like there used to be a like a complication DVD or whatever. It's like the golden years,
Complication? The hell?
something like that. But yeah, that's it.
No,
But
eight.
either way, but it's like the golden years of wrestling.
Complimation, not complication.
There was a set of DVDs out there, and
There was some complications.
But
in
it-
DVD.
I'll tell you, unofficial. But had a match with Anvil, and like he's just forearm smashing this guy over the ropes. Like you can see the guy's eyes swelling up, like his freaking nose breaks. He's busting his lips. I'm like, I don't know if this dude owed him money or what happened, but like he went out that night to prove, hey, wrestling's real. Because he beat the stew out of this guy, like not Stu Hart, like he beat the crap out of this guy.
Beat the Stu Hart out of
Yeah,
that.
like I mean, just like he had like stuck him over the second rope and pulled him back over the top, and he's just bloom, just forearms all to the face, like he messed homeboy up. I mean, dude's bleeding and like his eyes are swelling shut, like it had to be a shoot. Like there's no way they were working. You know what I mean? But the guy was probably too scared to like get out from under him, so he just let him beat him to death.
Like Foley's WWE debut.
Yeah.
He wrestled the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs clotheslined him in the face. He's like, yeah, I had to eat like yogurt and stuff for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you had to go and go, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Good talk now. What's wrong with your voice? How you doing? You broke my fucking jaw. Huh?
Oh, I want to blow your mind. You ready for this?
Sure.
I did an interview the other day with Gene Jackson, Locals to Legends, Cheap Heat TV, all those guys, or all his shows.
He's fixing to do Twin State Wrestling?
Yeah, he had 2 shows under that banner before.
okay.
But Bushwhacker Charlie is real.
No shit.
Yes.
God damn, the hunt's over, huh?
Yeah. No, the hunt is just beginning. Because, I'd asked him about David Cox or whatever, and he was telling, and I said, well, you know, we do Ego on Break, and I said me and Logan had been joking around, like, we're going to find Bushwhacker Charlie. And he was like, man, he's like, according to Chris Kilgore, Bushwhacker Charlie is real. He's like, there really was a guy who was telling those stories and he trained David Cox. And like his story was, like there's 2 sets of bushwhackers or whatever. He was one of the bushwhackers that went to the other company or all that crap. All that crap was the story. Like, you know, it's my story. I'm sticking to it. So somewhere in, you know, Tennessee or West Virginia, Kentucky or somewhere in that area, there is a Bushwhacker Charlie. So
Holy
get to work, homie. Yeah.
I done did all the research I know how to
We
do.
gotta find Bushwhacker Charlie. Because I'm like, oh man, that's
Everything I pulled up online, it
Gotta talk to
nothing
David Cox,
comes
man.
up. Well, I guess I have.
got to talk to David Cox.
I have to find Cox.
Yeah, Cox.
Yeah, hard to beat.
Yeah, he is hard to beat. But we got to track down Bushwhacker. Like, that's ultimate goal now. Like, I'm like, he's real. Or we want to talk to him. Like, we'll do a road trip to wherever he's at to interview Bushwhacker Charlie.
So they were in Tennessee.
I'm just assuming. Like,
Okay.
you know, David Cox to me is a North Mississippi, Tennessee guy. So I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
yeah.
assuming That's where he, got his break at or whatever. That's where he got trained at. So,
Well, the only person I really know in that area that has a lot of knowledge is JD.
Yeah.
So I'll send him a message and see what he can tell me.
But man, we've got to find Bushwhacker Charlie.
Bushwhacker Charlie.
Because I really didn't think he was real.
I didn't either. I thought it was one of the Grinch that stole Christmas's cousins.
Yeah, something.
Something.
But Locals to Legends, the Jay Andrews edition drops tomorrow, I believe.
So y'all actually talk about Bushwhacker Charlie?
For a second. I mean, it wasn't a long conversation, but we were wrapping up, and I think he was trying to get me to shut up, and I wouldn't, so I just kept talking. But
I've done that with you.
I'm like, hey, you've asked me some questions. Now it's my turn, man. So, but it just blew my mind that Bushwhacker Charlie was real.
That kind of
Or at least,
mind,
has the potential to be real. Let's put it like that.
He may be.
But then you may can talk to Chris Kilgore too. The Snake Man.
Mythological wrestling creature.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to try to find Bushwhacker Charlie.
That's interesting.
See if we can't get at least something. Find something. Even if we find something of him not as Bushwhacker Charlie. You know what I mean? Like if he had a different character or whatever. But
like I say, I've looked everything I can look at. Wikipedia. I put literally Bushwhacker Charlie. Yeah. I'm like, would they have been? Were they the sheep herders or were they the bushwhackers?
Well, they were the bushwhackers because he would have been sheep herder Charlie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, I get that, but you know what I'm saying. They come from the sheep herders and become the bushwhackers.
Yeah, I think the way the story went was like maybe the bushwhackers split, or one set of bushwhackers went to WCW and one went to WWF. But I can't find bushwhacker in WCW where it's not the bushwhackers. Like you can find the sheep herders.
That's what I see.
And then you can find like one of them and somebody else, but they were not called the bushwhackers. They were called like the royal family or some crap. Like I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head without going back and looking it up, but so it just blows my mind that somewhere there's Bushwhacker Charlie. So
well, hell.
Make it. Well, isn't it Butch that's still wrestling? Make it get Bushwhacker Butch, Bushwhacker Charlie.
Yeah, he's still out there doing stuff. Well, hell, we saw him at Ring of Honor.
I think I'm gonna shoot him a message and ask him.
You got to.
Be like, hey,
I'd be damn honored.
Rumor has it there's a Bushwhacker Charlie. Can you fill me in? So
there's somebody in my window telling me about there was really a Bushwhacker Charlie.
Yeah, in your window. Yeah, gotcha.
So.
But Saturday we got August 18th. We got Squared Circle Survival #2. It's gonna be a little different this year. In Ego, instead of a battle royal, we're gonna do a gauntlet match. I think that's gonna be the theme of Squared Circle Survival. You never know what kind of match it's gonna be. It's just surviving the circle, the squared circle.
I poke gouge doom next time.
But pretty excited for that. Gonna have an 8-man gauntlet. So
so this is gonna be everybody comes out one at a time.
No, it's gonna be a singles match starts when one person gets beat, another guy come out. So it's essentially all singles matches. Yeah,
one at a time.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you meant like Royal Rumble style.
Well, Chikara does a gauntlet where it's a tag team, but everybody's standing to the outside. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know if you were going to have everybody around ringside.
No, I think because I like the element of surprise.
Well, that'd be kind of a damn surprise. Everybody's standing there at ringside, but you don't know who goes in next.
Yeah, that's true. Only they know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I do it as a shoot. Just hand everybody numbers. Don't let nobody be able to call Jack. You guys show you can wrestle.
But I think it's going to be fun, it's going to be different. So we talked about that and talked about like different things that Ego does, that we're trying to build upon to change Mississippi wrestling because, again, it has such a bad reputation. But, who knows? Going to see. Then November 3rd, we got 7th Annual Great Southern 8 coming up. And we just announced the first participant. Big thing. He's a guy I've been trying to get in the tournament since day one. But it's former NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion Steve Anthony. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm so excited for that. We've had him in Ego a couple times before, but he was like the guy that I tried to get in the very first tournament. And wasn't able to pull that off. He was a hard man to track down and find contact info on. And, I'd literally send messages to guys. They go, well, we can't give his number out, but we'll give him your number. Like he's super secretive and, and I'm like, man, it's crazy, but you've got a great interview with him on Life in a Headlock. I think I'm going to share that tonight.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
it's a good interview. It really is.
But man, Steve Anthony is going to blow people away. I'm super excited he's in the tournament and can't wait for November 3rd because he's wrestled everybody, Liger, AJ Styles, Roderick Strong. I mean,
Davis.
yeah, John Davis, John Saxon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
I mean, we saw him at Battle Zone the first time.
Yeah, mind blowing.
And he was Steve Southern then.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't he part of the New Orleans Fight Club?
I think once that kind of got going.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I don't think he was like original.
No.
But yeah, man, like the dude is phenomenal, you know, and just to have that honor of having him represent Louisiana in the Southern 8 is huge for me.
How many states you got represented this year?
7.
7.
Yeah, I got 2 representatives from Georgia, and you know, there's just so much talent in Georgia. You know, it's almost hard not to have 2, you know, 2 representatives.
Georgia and Tennessee is the one to me that's hard to not double book it.
So Monday nights from here on out, you know, right around Monday Night Raw time, I'm gonna try to throw those out. You know, unleash a new guy every week, and man, this year is gonna be stacked.
So is he gonna do the one where he's got the helmet on?
Yeah, whatever, man.
Okay.
Like,
I don't know.
I just want Steve Anthony. I don't care if he wears his.
Well, Ray Fury has a Predator mask that he wears sometimes, so I thought maybe he would do the Gladiator.
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, that's what he's done the last 2 times. So I'm assuming Gladiator Steve will show up.
Gotcha.
Or, you know, if I get exclamation point Steve, I'm okay with that too. You know, like he is not gonna be like, oh, he's my favorite to win, you know, the tournament. But like, man, like he's been like that unicorn, you know. Like I've been trying to get him since year 1, and it's taken me 7 years to get him on a tournament. So definitely looking forward to that. So you got anything to hype?
Not really. I did the West Warren and Jacksonville. They are both out for Life in the Headlock. But as I was telling you, the camera I bought, watch out. If you look at this camera, the speaker's actually back here.
The microphone?
Yeah, that's what I meant, the microphone.
What's so weird?
So when you talk, it goes back here.
Yeah.
So I got to go buy
like a mic or something?
A microphone.
Yeah.
The boom mic that comes with it sucks.
Right.
And literally picks up no sound. I'm like, how? I literally recorded one show, had no sound whatsoever.
Man, that's crazy.
So
but yeah, August 18th, Squared Circle Survival, November 3rd, 7th Annual Great Southern 8, and Life in Headlock. Got some videos out there, so check those out. Next time, guys. Local to Legends, Wednesday night. Check it out. Stitcher. Later.